Welcome to Watch, Review, Repeat. This is the podcast where two best friends discuss the latest in film and television and then do it all over again the following week. My name is Colton Brown, and joining me is Andrew Meadows.
Colton Brown.
Well, hello. We're here from the future.
That's right. That's right.
Still 2020. Still 2020.
Moments in the future. Moments
in the future. So as we discussed at the tail end of our non-spoiler coverage of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, we talked about how we recorded a little too much on Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker to be contained to one episode, and so now we present the second part of our coverage of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker to all of our listeners. Again, bear in mind, it was technically one episode that we recorded in one long go, so there might be some inconsistencies as though we're talking about things that happened, quote-unquote, earlier in the episode when they actually happened in our non-spoiler episode that we put out separately, since it was intended to be one episode until it became, well, a little too long for that. It is what it is. You know, I think it's better for our listeners to try to absorb things in smaller, I don't want to say bite-sized chunks, but a little bit more bite-sized type chunks than...
more bite-sized than 4 hours.
Yeah, you know, so yes, we are pretty much just going to get right into things. We're going to be talking full spoilers in just a moment. We're going to be talking Star Wars rankings, Skywalker Saga rankings, and this is it. This is going to be our last hurrah for our coverage of Star Wars, completing our countless hours of content on the Skywalker Saga. So, without further ado, let's do it. Let's get into full spoilers for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. A lot to talk about, and we finally don't have to hold back on what we think about the plot elements, I guess you could say, of The Rise of Skywalker. So, I don't know. Do you have some thoughts? Okay, so I'll take a step back again. I think I kind of alluded to it earlier. When we covered The Last Jedi week, we went, plot beat by plot beat by plot beat. We're not going to do that here. This is going to be closer to what we did for the Skywalker Saga of just jumping around, thoughts, immediate reactions, kind of what you're feeling on certain things now that you don't have restraints on you and such. So, what jumps out at you, man? Like, spoiler-wise, is there like something that you're like, fuck, I've been itching to talk about this for weeks now?
The biggest thing is so I have a couple big plot points that I think they're probably the biggest plot points, right?
All right, well, let's get into it.
Okay, so we have a villain that takes hold of the outer regions post Emperor Palpatine, right? And that's Snoke.
Yes.
He develops he transforms a planet into like a massive fucking machine. Okay.
Yeah. Death Star 3.0.
Death Star 3.0. And it's fucking serious. It's a big deal, right? Big villain, badass villain, right? And he's manipulated Rey and Kylo Ren from across the galaxy. Like, he's just manipulated their thoughts and put the pieces together for him and everything else. I mean, he's a serious villain. And within the first 5 minutes of this movie, Emperor Snoke was of my devise. I made Snoke.
Boy,
done.
I made Snoke.
Done. That's it. Snoke's done.
Yeah.
So 5 hours of movie. Building up. I mean, Snoke was no more than a fucking hologram in the first movie, much like Emperor Palpatine was no more than a hologram in the first, or in Empire Strikes Back. He was just a fucking hologram, right? And it's menacing to see a fucking hologram of the villain. Like, you have no perception of the depth of that character at all, right?
Especially when he's 90 feet tall when you first see him.
Yeah, he's just this massive fucking dude. And he's pissed. Come back and we'll finish your training. I think that's like the extent of what he says in the first movie. Yeah, we get to the third movie. Yeah, he's just fucking, I made him in like a fucking tube. Sent him out. Whatever, And if that's what happened, that's totally fine. but it's pretty fucking. It's
an ass pull.
It's an ass pull.
It's a retcon if you want to be, a little bit more nice about it, I guess. It's Rian Johnson. This is JJ set up Snoke as the big bad. Didn't have a whole lot to his character in The Force Awakens. He was just kind of lingering in the shadows of, what's this guy's idiot? And Rian Johnson was just like, we don't need another fucking Palpatine. Fuck this asshole. I'm going to cut him in half and make Kylo Ren my bad guy. And then JJ's just like,
that's really cool
right.
too.
And JJ's response is, okay, well, you can have it that way, but I'm just going to make him part of the big bad again. And it's just, if nothing else, it's just kind of I think kind of what you're saying is, if that was always the intent, sure. But it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a half-hearted attempt to tie things together.
If Palpatine was the big bad all along, then at the very least there should have been mention to it maybe in the last movie.
Yeah.
Right? Or not so soon, not in the opening fucking scroll of this movie.
The dead speak!
Right. Right. If that's the way you want to go, you either blew your load too soon in this movie, or there should have been indications in previous films.
All right, I'm gonna try this on for size, because this is something I read in of all fucking places, the YouTube comment section.
Oh wow, okay.
All right, well, so the opening crawl talks about how a mysterious broadcast has been sent out across the galaxy in the voice of the late Emperor Palpatine with a threat of revenge, or whatever the fuck the line is. It's actually pretty close, I think. We don't hear that broadcast in this film.
No.
At any point. However, if you happen to play the wonderful video game Fortnite, you would have heard that. You would have heard that broadcast,
right? Mm-hmm,
and it's a creepy, eerie, kind of cool broadcast of just being like, blah blah blah, revenge, blah. Why is that not in the movie?
That's a very good question.
I went to the YouTube comment section of the video that had the broadcast from Fortnite, and someone suggested, wouldn't it be kind of interesting if this played at the end of The Last Jedi when the... Uh-oh. We've got a red lightsaber that has just ignited. Oh, my goodness. What if... What if that played when the Resistance escapes on the Millennium Falcon at the end of The Last Jedi? They make... The Resistance has been whittled down small enough that they can fit on...
Yeah, that would have been fucking cool.
On the Falcon, and then...
That would have been really fucking cool.
Boy howdy, here comes Palpatine's return. It doesn't fundamentally change The Last Jedi in any sort of way, which is fine.
More.
I think it makes more sense. But at least it adds some synergy to the sequel trilogy of just when they thought that, hope, we've ignited hope in the galaxy, but then here comes this call and response of, oh, no. The evil you thought was vanquished is not vanquished. It has been lurking in the shadows this entire time, and now he's back. And what does that mean for these characters?
I don't mind that he survived the Darth Vader shit.
I don't either.
I don't mind it.
They don't explain it, which I think is kind of silly. Other than we got
and he fucking
got Dominic Monaghan. We've got dark science clones and whatever the fuck this guy says. You know what I mean? Like. It's the dark side. It's the Sith. It's fucking Palpatine.
Whatever.
If anyone's gonna survive being thrown down a fucking shaft, even if it literally is a fucking clone, like, fine. Arguably he looks better in this film than he looks certainly in Revenge of the Sith, but also in Return of the Jedi. Like, just purely in terms of, like, he looks pretty much plain. He doesn't seem to have all the facial scarring. He's just blind. And his fingers are all shriveled and shit. You know what I mean? Like, he looks pretty alright, all things considered, though. Like, he's obviously weakened and he's sustained by the machine. I don't know what's going on there and stuff like that. But it's fine. It's all cool. And it's like, you don't necessarily need to explain all that. It would be helpful, I guess. I'm sure we'll get a comic about it in a few months. But I just kind of... I just think, it's just one of those things, like, it's such a central conceit of this film to bring back Palpatine. And it's so nonchalant. And it's like, I guess that's fine. You know, it's fine. Again, if you look at it in and of itself, it's fine. But there's no fucking hint to that whatsoever. So,
Like I said,
you know,
if you're gonna
I
do
have
it-
been every voice in your head this entire time, and it's just like,
If you're
that
gonna,
may be true.
if you're gonna do
but
it, if you're gonna do it, which obviously they did do it, I think it
they
would.
did it.
I
They
think
did. They
I
did
think
it.
would
They
be
definitely did it.
much better, especially since you didn't lay the groundwork out in previous films because you couldn't or whatever. It needed to be an end thing. You know, it needed to be.
It needed to be seated. It needed to be seated throughout the trilogy. It needed to build to it.
Yeah.
And not just feel like, oh shit, and we're in spoilers, we need to redeem Kylo Ren to become Ben Solo. That means we need to have a big bad. That is the third act villain. That's honestly what it feels like to me, is Ryan Johnson teed it up to say that Kylo Ren is your big bad. And JJ clearly was not having that. And I have thoughts on that, but...
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we're jumping all around. It's fine, right?
Yeah, totally fine.
I don't think Kylo Ren should have ever been redeemed.
No.
I think it's counterintuitive to what
He's a bad fucking
the
dude.
story was through 7 and 8. The end of 7 kind of pretty much sets him on the path of not being redeemed. He kills his father. Patricide, pretty big deal typically. It's a big moment. Han Solo is a character we know and love, and for him to go out the way that he did, trying to help his son, and for his son to reject him in the way that he did, it's a big fucking moment for Kylo. And I think you see again, as I talked about earlier, you see the conflict within Kylo in 8 when he hesitates to kill Leia.
But he does it anyways.
He doesn't, and he doesn't really, like his other troopers behind him shoot on the ship, but... Yeah. You know, there's still conflict with him, but I think even more than that, just that, it's the tension between him and Rey. And I don't mean sexual tension. I just mean the tension between him and Rey of she's trying to pull him back to the light side. He's trying to pull her to the dark side. You know, we can tell that they have a connection, a force connection, I guess, evidently. But by the end of The Last Jedi, Kylo kills Snoke, seizes power for himself, becomes the supreme leader. Look, no one good calls themselves the supreme leader. That's all I'm saying. All right, little political commentary for you. He sets himself up as the big bad. He is effectively Snoke. You know, he's the big bad right by the end of the film. And more than that, Rey, I think figuratively and literally shuts the door on him. One of the closing shots in The Last Jedi is the last time that we see the Force connection between them, and Ren kind of looks up at Rey kind of like longingly in his own sort of way of just being like, you know, kind of reaching out, and Rey is on the Falcon. She looks at him and she's like, no, fuck you. She literally shuts the Falcon door on him and, you know, and closes the connection. Yeah. And that to me feels like the closing of the chapter. Like there was the opportunity in the throne room when they briefly worked together for that was okay. You killed your dad. We're gonna throw you the ball one more time. All right, you fucked it up before. You got another chance at it. We're being generous here. And he says no. You know, he goes the other way. And so I just kind of feel like for him to have this magical change of heart here, I don't know exactly the mechanism of it. I'm a little confused about the Leia stuff, to be honest. Maybe we'll talk about that in just a second. But I think more granularly, in terms of Kylo Ren being redeemed to become Ben Solo again, I just don't think it's earned. And I just don't think it makes sense for the story. I think it makes more sense for him to double down on his connection to the dark side. I think it makes more sense for him to be the big bad. Even if he's the one, even if you bring back Palpatine and you make Kylo the one to strike him down and all of the Sith live within Kylo Ren.
Cool. Yeah, that would
and third act is Kylo
super powered up, Kylo,
super, just completely fucked up Kylo and stuff like that. And that's a, I don't know.
It would have been really interesting.
I just think it makes more sense for the story.
Almost like an Anakin thing, where he's just absolutely consumed by
the dark side.
Yeah, where he's totally corrupt at the end of the movie. He strikes down Palpatine. That makes more sense. All the Sith live in him.
All the Sith pass into him, and
he's just maybe up,
he's I don't know. I just think that's more compelling to me than a redemption storyline for him. Well, I think there's an opportunity for a redemption storyline for him, and I think Rian Johnson shut the door on that. And again, that's one example of this movie just kind of pissing on the legacy of The Last Jedi. And I think that's frustrating because if JJ wanted to tell his fucking story, he should have done episode 8. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, should have let him do 7, 8, and 9. I'm not the first person to say this. The first 30 minutes of this film feel like JJ's episode 8. It's very compressed. Yeah. I mean, within like a minute of this film, we're already in montage territory, right? Of Kylo fucking people up on Mustafar, getting the holocron or the Wayfinder, whatever the fuck it's called, going to Exegol, meeting with Palpatine. Like, there's a lot of plot that happens in 5 minutes. My boy, I was Snoke. You know, like, there's a lot of shit that happens. Like, that feels like a fucking lot of information to tell your viewers.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
And it is a lot of information. And I kind of just feel like it's too much information. Like, if you have to complicate your plot in such a way to make this work, I don't know, maybe don't do it. You know? Maybe don't do it.
It's a good take.
So anyway, those are my thoughts on, I guess, the redemption of Ben Solo.
What are your thoughts
What I
on
will
Leia?
say, if you don't mind, I'll jump back to that in a second. What I will say is, the second time I watched it, I accepted the redemption for what it is. I didn't want the story to go that way the first time through, but it happened. Again, it is what it is. Accepted at face value. Adam Driver crushed it as fucking Ben Solo and Kylo Ren. Like, I feel like they're different characters. They're separated characters. There's a version of the story where Ben Solo is redeemed, and it makes more sense to me plot-wise, but I think Adam Driver is really, really good. We don't get enough Ben Solo to really, I think, make it worth it. Like, he basically doesn't speak, but his mannerisms, I guess he's kind of literally healed, doesn't have the facial scar and stuff anymore, so he looks a little bit different. But I really, really liked the physical performance of it. You know, there's like kind of like the one thing where he's fighting the Knights of Ren and he does like kind of like a Han-esque shrug of just being like, you know, what are you gonna do? And I like that. I think that was nice. It was a good touch. Even we get a surprise Harrison Ford in here. You know, he's seeing the memory of Han Solo. And I liked that sequence a lot. You know, it's a repetition of the dialogue from The Force Awakens, for the most part, but then it has the subversion at the end of Dad, I know. Like, it's a good homage to, you know, the Han Leia stuff from the Empire, iconic dialogue. And I think it really works as a moment for what the redemption could have been. I just don't think it feels earned. That's my biggest problem, is that I still don't like it as a storyline, but I think in terms of execution, it's done really well. I just wish that it was earned. It just doesn't, to me, feel earned. But I liked what it was. I just, again, I think
in a vacuum, it's good.
In a vacuum, it's good. As a response to The Last Jedi, it's nonsense, I guess.
Right.
That's what I would say. So in terms of Leia, I guess I just don't really... I mean, I guess I can turn this around and ask you maybe, but what's your take on what Leia did as her sacrificial moment to reach out to her son? Like, what is she doing in that moment that basically, you know, it's like a last-ditch effort that literally takes the life out of her? Well, what is she doing?
It's the same thing. My take on it is and my biggest gripe with it is it's the same thing that Luke did.
Okay.
Right? In the Last Jedi. He reached out across the galaxy, but she did not...
She didn't project herself, though, in the way that, like, Luke...
She didn't project herself, right? Luke projected himself, and it took everything he had to do it. And he sat there and he had to meditate to do it. Like, it took a lot of fucking energy to do it. It took all the energy, right? And it was fucking cool. It's actually very cool.
It's the most Jedi shit I've ever seen, is what I would say about the end of The Last Jedi.
It's pretty fucking cool.
It's badass as fuck.
Yeah, right. So Leia does it, but it takes all of Leia's energy just to send her voice out, which was the interesting thing is she kind of did it in a nonchalant way where I think she was like still like walking, or did she do it when she was still laying down? Did she have to lay down and she did it when she was laying down?
I think she does it. I think she does it when she's lying down.
Okay.
Like, I think there's a moment where she...
That's better than... I seem to
reaches
her,
out,
like,
I guess.
to the bed and then doing it while she was walking, which was kind of like, well, I mean...
No, I think she does it when she kind of lays down, but I think kind of once the moment passes, then she dies, like, as she's laying down.
I assume that it just takes a lot of energy to reach out in the way that she did. Obviously, Luke could meditate on the Force. He was much more in tune with the Force, and he was able to meditate and project himself, and that took all of his energy. And it took a lot of energy just to speak out to Ben. Right.
I guess it's just kind of a... I guess I don't know. I guess I'm just maybe getting bogged down in the logistics of it. But is her action to reach out to him in a sense that she's reaching out and she's transferring some sort of energy that?
No, she's distracting him.
Sparks. She's just being like, "Hey, dude," and then Rey is just boom. Stabby stab. Is that kind of the idea?
That's pretty much it. It's just to reach out. Hey, it's my mother. Oh, what? And then boom, stab. She just took the opportunity and she reached out to him, and he just like spaced out for just half a second and enough time for her to poke him in the stomach.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
I don't know. I guess I don't know. I just kind of feel like if it's just her distracting him, it seems like quite the risk to take. I guess but
for
I don't know.
Leia,
right? Yeah, I mean, I guess she's obviously very Force sensitive. And maybe she can feel that her and Rey Ren and Rey are kind of in a duel or something like that. But it just kind of seems like I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I guess I like the idea of her reaching out to trigger a redemption of some sort, but as just a literal being like, "Hey, doofus," kind of thing, and then Rey stabbing him.
Maybe she could sense the doubt and Ben.
Maybe. I don't know. I just don't know that the intent is all that well conveyed, if nothing else. Maybe that's
true.
That's just a bad read on my part.
Obviously, it's not
on my part. But
yeah, if you're questioning it, then obviously it's not a very clear.
I think especially the first time through, I didn't know what the fuck was happening. Then again, also the first time through, maybe I'm a dumbass, but there's multiple times throughout this film where Kylo and Rey Force fight. And they have literal lightsaber fights through the Force where they're not actually in the same physical area.
I don't understand. Okay, so you want to talk about running with stupid? Okay, the stupid is...
Let me finish my thought.
Okay, finish your thought. Go ahead.
The first time that I saw them on the Death Star fighting, I thought it was a Force projection fight for 3/4 of it, and I was just like, why is he still engaging in this lightsaber fight? Can't you just detach the Force connections? Oh, he's actually there. That makes more sense. Anyway, your thoughts on what you're going to get on?
So, I guess in The Last Jedi, he reaches out to the Force and he can feel rain on his hand. Right? You brought that up a couple times.
Yes. It's a very limited physical connection.
And then in this one, they're actually passing lightsabers to each other and like...
They're full on dueling. They're doing some other things.
It's... And then Luke did it as well. I mean, he projected himself he brought the keychain and he was able to interact with things. I'm all about the Force and all sorts of cool stuff. Okay, I'm all about it, but I just don't understand I don't understand how that works. I still don't understand how that works. And I've spent weeks trying to figure out how the shit works. I don't understand.
Well, it's an expansion of what The Last Jedi introduced, and I saw someone post about it recently, like every Star Wars movie, for the most part, every Star Wars property introduces some sort of new Force power.
Totally fine.
You know what I mean?
Cool. I'm all about it.
And I think it's in line with that. In The Last Jedi introduced this idea of the Force connection, like bridging the connection between two minds. And this one almost kind of doubles down on that with the dyad and the Force concept, right? Of Rey and Ren kind of just being these two halves of kind of the Force, which is interesting, I think, overall. But the thing is, like Rian Johnson, when he was talking about The Last Jedi, is when he came up with that conceit, he was trying to find a way to have Kylo Ren and Rey in the same sequence communicating with each other, but in a way that would preclude them from just swinging lightsabers at each other, because of course that's what they would fucking do. And because, that's a bad guy, I should kill him, or I should, disable him, or whatever you're going to do. And then in this movie, it's just like, But what if we just ignored all that and they just fought each other with lightsabers through the Force? And it's just like, oh, well, okay, all right, good on you. I guess it could work, as like an extension of that
It's
Force
weird.
power.
But
It's a little ass pull. It's a little bit more ass pull, I think, for sure.
I like the idea of Luke going and being on that planet. I can't remember the name of the planet, but he was on that planet in the last movie.
In the last Octo and Last Jedi, or
no, not Acto.
Crate at the end,
yeah,
the
Crate.
projection,
Yeah.
Which that was a new Force power, right?
That was a new Force power, right? And it's almost, I guess it's not an extension, but it's not like a Force connection between two people like Rey and him.
No,
but he didn't interact with anything. He's very I don't think they locked lightsabers at any point, did they? I think he just dodged everything, didn't he?
Yeah, he pretty much just avoided everything, right? Yeah, he made him think he was there, and then once he actually tried to run him through the lightsaber, that was only when Kylo Ren realized, oh shit, I'm being trolled this entire time. Fuck.
Yeah, that was cool as shit.
Yeah,
and he did that fucking get the dust off my shoulder.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he's fire every fucking laser on that guy or whatever.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
that was fucking cool.
Yeah,
in the Knights of Ren never got fucking anything. They're a bunch of ass clowns.
No, they're just there to be a boy band that looks cool,
and
it's frustrating. It's just like, I've read so much shit out of the Rise of Skywalker visual dictionary. Here's this fucking 150-page book that comes out, a couple weeks after the movie comes out, and I'm like, here's 10 pages on the Knights of Ren. Put that in the movie. Put something in the movie. I will say this on the Knights of Ren. They're fucking useless. There's a way to not you're not gonna give a lot of depth to these 8 faceless characters. I get that. It's fine. Boba Fett's a fucking useless sack of shit within the original trilogy. It's fine. People still like him. They look cool. Whatever. It's cool. Give them something to do though. All they do is get fucking clowned at the end of the movie. That's it. That's their role in this movie. And to, look cool, they, march around the fucking, the Star Destroyer or whatever, and, the Stormtroopers are like, ooh, the Knights of Ren, look at these badass motherfuckers, yo. And it's just like, let me see it. Let me see
something.
it.
Do something.
And, they have the opportunity in this film. They capture Chewie at one point, right? Have the Knights of Ren out muscle Chewie. We know Chewie is formidable, but it's a cut between Chewie looking around the corner, and then the next time we see him, he's in shackles, and it's just
what happened? What happened?
I thought that was Chewie just be like, ah.
I thought that was the coolest part of the last movie. Keep bringing up the last movie, but the coolest part of the last movie.
It's a better movie.
Fucking the Praetorian guards, you always see the red guards around the Emperor Palpatine.
They held their own,
and they didn't do anything in the original Star Wars movie.
No, they're guards, yeah.
Yeah, but then you see what they're capable of, and granted, the Praetorian guards, and they're not.
Yeah, whatever. But same concept,
thing,
though. You
right?
know,
Exactly. The guards are the main guy in charge, right? And then they're fucking badass. They're real fucking cool. They got the whip and shit, and it was really awesome.
Well, Rey and Ren had to work together to defeat them. Compare that to here, where, the Knights of Ren, I guess to be fair, Kylo probably, or Ben, I guess at that point, probably would have lost if Rey didn't force transfer the lightsaber behind her back and such.
How does that work? We don't know how that works. Teleport a lightsaber via the Force.
Look, it's space magic. I can get over shit like that for me personally. It's an expansion of the Force. Whatever, she read it in a Jedi text. Cool. Kind of, Force healing is another thing. Technically, we have seen it in a recent Star Wars property, which technically aired prior to this movie debuting. But Force healing,
that
cool.
should have always been a thing.
It's there. It's fine. I don't care. It is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. Ben would have lost the Knights of Ren without his lightsaber, probably.
And see, that's another thing. He could stop a blaster bolt and just freeze it. He can't get these fucking guys off of him. He can't just fucking force push them and get them fucking away.
Maybe that's a dark side power, and he doesn't have access to that anymore.
That's true. I don't know.
That's
true. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. There's just this kind of things in this that are just kind of like, okay.
Whatever you say.
Yeah, and the Knights of Ren are just a huge fucking waste in this.
The knife.
I don't know.
The knife. Don't forget about the Sith knife.
Yeah, here's a classic J.J. MacGuffin for you. It just I still don't quite understand the logistics of this dagger, the Sith dagger. All right,
it sounds cool at first.
Well, it's clearly something, so it's set up that it just magically corresponds to the fallen Death Star. So clearly it's made post the Death Star being blown apart in Return of the Jedi, right?
So obviously it's not ancient.
So it's obviously not ancient. There's just something inscribed on it saying like, hey, here's the way to Exegol. Don't worry about it. I don't know. It just feels like a weird kind of fetch quest, like a video gamey type element in a movie that doesn't need it. Like, no. I don't know. There's just ways to structure your plot so that you're not doing stuff like this. It just doesn't really make sense overall. Like, it's messy. Maybe there's a version of it that makes sense that I can't quite wrap my head around. Well, I guess I'll concede that I don't fucking know everything in the world, but like, why? It's just, I don't know. And then, there's obviously the connection with the Jedi Hunter character, whatever his fucking name is, to Rey's backstory, which we haven't even touched on yet. I don't know. It's all just a bit too convoluted for its own good. And in a movie that is as paced as fast as this, none of it really, like, you don't, I guess the one I suppose good grace is that you don't think about it too long because you're just thinking about the next thing because this movie doesn't give a fuck and it's just moving on to the next thing. But when you sit back and think about it, and you're just like, huh? Who's this dagger for? Who made this dagger? What is it designed to do? What's going on? So you got the Wayfinders that take you to Exegol, and they were at Vader's castle, presumably at one point, and then they were on the Death Star next to where the Emperor's throne room was. Who are these Wayfinders for? What's going on here? Why were they made? Don't understand. I don't plot. Again, I think there's a way to make those story elements work, and maybe they do work within this own film. I just don't know that that's clearly conveyed again, and I think if you, not that every little fucking bit of exposition needs to be spelled out in this film, but for stuff like that, like, it just needs to be, I guess, consistent, or at least just enough that should be there that I shouldn't have to watch this movie 3 times and still kind of think about it and think like, well, I guess, and I think that kind of transfers into like, what's Palpatine's plan in this movie, right?
Oh God,
what's his plan?
He wanted to transfer himself into a younger body.
Well, he gets Kylo to come out to him and say, "Kill Rey." Okay, I'll kill Rey. He doesn't kill Rey, and then Rey ends up on Exegol, and it's just like, all right, well, lo and behold, I had some fun times back in the day, and we happen to be related, you and I, and then his plan is for Rey to strike him down, and then that doesn't happen. So, there's this dyad in the Force. I'll just rejuvenate myself. Like it's just I don't really understand what Palpatine's endgame is in this. Is he trying to?
Well, at first I think he was trying to strike me down, and I will be in you.
Right, and I think that like that makes sense. Like the way I've kind of conceived it in my head, and I don't know if it's as intended, but his initial plan is true. Like he wants Kylo to become the next Sith, host or whatever you want to call it, I guess. And then Kylo goes off script, so he has to go off script, and once he gets redeemed, then Rey becomes his next target. But then there's the whole complication of Rey's backstory, which is retconned, another ass pull for The Last Jedi. Look, we don't need to like really, really flesh this out. Again, I just think it's just too convoluted for its own good. Like, it's just moment to moment, you don't think about it, but then you think about it. You think about it when you pull it back,
without her being related to anybody.
Yeah, I think it makes. I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
I just like the idea of her being related to nobody and somebody that can rise and make a difference in the galaxy. I think that's much more impactful than.
Well, and that's clearly what Rian Johnson wrote, right? Yeah.
That's what it's
his whole thing was like, what's the hardest thing for Rey to hear is that, oh, you're not Kenobi. Oh, you're not a Skywalker. You're just fucking nobody. Your parents were shitbags that sold you for drinking money. Like you're Rey. Like, the Force needed, the Force, the dark side rose up in Kylo Ren, and so the Force called out. It wanted a response. The Force awoke, you might fucking say. In Rey, right?
Yeah.
And so to make her Rey Palpatine, it kind of it reduces the Force to bloodlines, which is not what Rian Johnson was trying to say. The Force, the whole thing of the Luke's exile is that the Jedi were arrogant. The Force doesn't belong to them. The Force belongs to everyone. Like, the whole sequence of her, like, reach out, feel it, like, it's her sensing the Force in every living being. And even though everyone's not necessarily Force sensitive,
they have it. Right.
The Force exists, but to reduce it to a bloodline makes it feel a bit more midichlorian for me, and I don't like that.
I agree.
Sheev got down and dirty with someone, had a son, and he had some midichlorians in him, but not enough midichlorians that he was Force sensitive. But he had sex with someone that had a few midichlorians, and lo and behold, their offspring. Well, oh my God, the midichlorian account. We haven't seen this since Anakin Skywalker. And like, I don't like that. The Force is a mythical thing. It's not. I don't think it's something that should be degraded down to a scientific output. You know what I mean? I think that it really does diminish the impact of what it should and was at one point. And look, I can blame George Lucas all I want for midichlorians and all that shit, but he kind of sidestepped that Attack of the Clones moving forward. Like, people didn't like that in fandom. He's just like, okay, well, whatever. I guess, it's just one of those things that's just, it's a more interesting idea that Rey is no one. It is. I think it's as simple as that. And I think I got the symmetry they were going for of Kylo's grandfather is Darth Vader. That's a big deal. Your grandfather is also a bad guy, the baddest of the guys. Sheev Palpatine, a man named Sheev. You don't fuck with a man named Sheev, but you apparently fuck a man named Sheev.
Right.
I just, logistics aside of that, we don't want to think about that too deeply. But it diminishes it. I think it diminishes the Force as a concept. I think and not only necessarily diminishes Rey as a character. I think that's a difficult thing for her to reconcile is the fact that my parents weren't shitbags, but they were trying to protect me from my grandfather, who was a shitbag. Is that harder for her to hear? Or is that more difficult for her to hear? But I just think it's easier in terms of like biology of just being like,
if you're going to go that way, which obviously they did.
They did. That's true.
I think it makes the pull to the dark side that much easier for her, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to straight up get revenge, and at what point that's what she says. I'm just going to go fuck them up. But then there wasn't really even that. There wasn't really even that conflict, really. I mean,
no, and like, there's no. I think it's different because it doesn't feel. It kind of comes out halfway through the movie of just being like, Palpatine is your grandfather. Okay, well, that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But I don't think that there's not enough time for that moment to breathe. Empire Strikes Back. No, I am your father. You have. I mean, it's kind of, I guess, maybe silly in some sort of ways, but that's a big fucking moment. That's your climax of that film. And you have years to think about that as an audience viewer, before Return of the Jedi comes out, and then the eventual redemption of Vader comes about. You don't have that sort of opportunity here. You hear it within 30 minutes. She's confronting that fact in the moment. Right?
Mm-hmm.
She's on Exegol and in the Sith throne room, the very important Sith throne room that we've literally never seen in 8 movies before. It's so important. Don't worry about it. Who are these fucking people in the stands? Don't worry about it. They're just Sith worshippers. It's fine. Exegol, never heard of it, but it's a big deal. there's no resonance to it. Again, it ties back to what we talked about earlier. Is we can't react to that because the movie doesn't let us react to that.
Right.
Maybe you front load the movie and Kylo talks to Ren about, she's not who she thinks she is. Maybe you fucking drop that knowledge right there. And we as an audience have to listen to that. We have to see Rey in this different light for 2 hours, and then she kind of has to grapple with that. Maybe that's more interesting. Maybe it gives you an opportunity to reconcile that information and process it before she does, and then that way you can kind of react appropriately. Or
maybe you have 8 movies before where you can kind of establish a fucking bloodline to where it might be a fucking deal.
And I agree. I think that's obviously better, right? You seed it throughout and it makes more sense. I'm just trying to find ways to reconcile what we have
this
with
one
how
individual
it could
movie.
have been done.
Yeah. Right. So if you're gonna just drop, hey, Granddaddy's fucking Palpatine. Granddaddy's Palpatine. Maybe the pull to the dark side should be significantly more. Maybe you get a Rey that is like maybe you get like a Death Star-esque Rey, and something maybe you have a completely fucking different movie. You know what I mean? That would have been interesting.
Yeah. Well,
it could have gone all sorts of different places, other than where it went. But what you did have is you had Palpatine shooting down ships with fucking lightning, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, and that's an interesting moment in and of itself.
That's some like Force Unleashed kind of shit.
She's just fucking pulling that shit back. Yeah, that was pretty intense.
That was fucking cool. When she did that, dude, I kind of lost my mind. That was really cool. When she just fucking grabbed a hold of that ship. I'm like, oh my god.
Like that was like, oh shit. Like Rey has, she that training's been paying off for her apparently.
And then she fucking shoots.
And even just when she fucking ignites it with lightning, I'm like, oh fuck, like, well, okay.
That was cool as shit. That was cool.
You could still have that moment without the lineage. You could just have that, definitely. Like her channeling anger and like accidentally channeling the dark side into her. Like you could still have that.
You don't need the lineage at all.
Right.
It was shoehorned in hard. You
don't need it. You don't need it at all. You take it away.
And what do you got?
Movie's better. The movie's better.
It is, absolutely.
And it doesn't fundamentally change anything. It doesn't change the ending, which we'll talk about maybe later, very soon. Hopefully, we're running a little bit long. But, it doesn't fundamentally change anything about this movie to make her just still a nobody. To have her, even if you say her parents are good people that were, Palpatine could sense the Force rising within her, and he foresaw the future of her being, this fucking dyad in the Force, or just someone strong in the Force, whatever. Like, and he wanted to eliminate any threats to his potential future, and Kylo was his destiny until it wasn't. Fine, totally fine. You just don't need the lineage there. It just complicates things unnecessarily, as many things in this movie are. They're just unnecessarily complicated. You don't need a lot of it. You simplify a lot of the approaches in this movie. It's a better movie because it's internally more consistent, but it also just doesn't feel like it feels less like they're just trying to retcon everything to make it this big Skywalker Saga conclusion. I don't know. It just wasn't built towards, and it just feels uneven. Feels really uneven as a result of them just trying to make this work, and they didn't have to make it so complicated. I think that's kind of what's frustrating for me. Is there any other big plot type revelations that we haven't grappled with? I feel like we've kind of hit on most of the big ones, so I figured maybe we can kind of start winding down, talk about some more minute things that stuck out to us. Any good things we want to shout out, bad things we want to shout out, and then we'll maybe hit on that very ending sequence and see how we thought about that as the last note before we get into rankings. Any other just minutia of the film that stick out to you?
Not really.
Okay. Well, I want to shout out my favorite character in this film, Babu Frick, for being
pretty great.
Probably the coolest, probably the best character in this film. There's good moments in this that I think are worth shouting out overall. I like C-3PO in this. He's a good source of humor. We didn't mention it, I guess, in non-spoilers. This is a funny film. It's a very humorous film. Mm-hmm. It's funnier than The Last Jedi is. which is probably the one thing I think it probably does better than The Last Jedi. Maybe spectacle too. I think The Last Jedi is more content to be a little slower in its approach and stuff like that. And this one is very kind of diametrically opposed to being slow. And that works for certain things and not as much for other things. But good stuff in this. I enjoyed having Rey, Finn, and Poe and Chewbacca kind of together. They'd been separated in The Last Jedi, and we get opportunity to have them kind of be together and have fun together and kind of grow together, which, there's obviously a lot of stuff that happened off screen. Rey and Poe are bickering at the beginning of this movie when they literally fucking met each other at the end of The Last Jedi, so it's kind of like, all right, well, clearly there's some things that have happened in between. Lando coming back, fun. Integration, a little weird, I thought. Like he's just chilling on Pisana. Kind of weird. It's just kind of, whatever, it's fine. It's not a big deal, but it's just kind of like, okay. Convenient for sure.
Yep.
I don't love the Dunkirk moment at the end. It doesn't really, it's not sold for me, in the sense that, like, Lando has somehow managed to mount this massive resistance, because it's kind of counterintuitive to what happened in The Last Jedi, right? Or it's supposed to be maybe responsive, I guess, in its way, but it's not really. In The Last Jedi, Leia sends out her signal, her beacon, to say, hey, come help at Crate. And no one responds. And that's a big fucking deal that no one responds. And so naturally, it's a big deal that everyone finally turns their heads to say, oh, no, we're gonna participate this time. We're gonna save the galaxy because we fucking care and fuck the First Order.
Right.
The problem I have inherently with that is that it doesn't address The Last Jedi. The whole point of The Last Jedi, and the whole fucking literal end of The Last Jedi, is Broom Boy being like, oh shit, there's hope in the galaxy. But it's not referenced again. I don't need Broom Boy showing up with a lightsaber or any shit like that, but like, at least some sort of acknowledgement of the fact that, like, Luke did the most badass fucking shit of all time, clowned on Kylo Ren in the First Order, and inspired the Resistance to be reborn would be fucking nice.
Yeah, that would be something.
Other than Lando just schmoozing about and being like, hey, you want to fight the First Order? It's like, give us something. Give us just, even if it's just a line of dialogue. And there's just little things like that where it's just like, you could have tied this to The Last Jedi. How the fuck is that lightsaber back together? It was literally split in half. Like, I'm going to earn your lightsaber. What? You fucking split it in half. What are you talking about? Like, it's just weird. It's just, it's incongruous. Like, it's just odd to me. It's just like, there's ways to just write this in a way that, look, you want to undo shit that happened. Fuck it. I get it. You didn't agree with everything Rian Johnson did. You didn't agree with anything he did, apparently. It's fine. Except for stoke this force connection between Kylo and Rey, because you wanted to have a horrible kiss between them, which I didn't talk about that. I almost forgot about it. I'm glad I thought about it. Fuck that fucking moment. It's disgusting. Kylo Ren is an abusive piece of shit. And for Rey to think, oh, time for smoochies is kind of just like, it's fucking insulting, to be honest. Like, it's gross at worst, but like, it's just fucking insulting. Like, there's never really been that sort of sexual tension between them. And then J.J. Abrams and I think Chris Terrio were out here talking about, like, well, it's not necessarily romantic. There's also a familial dynamic. And I'm like, oh, so we like to kiss our siblings. Is this Game of Thrones now? Is that what this is? And it's just like,
there's a what
just shut
dynamic?
The fuck up. A familial. And it's just like, look, just because George Lucas didn't realize that Luke and Leia were siblings when he wrote A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back doesn't justify that sort of behavior. Just because Game of Thrones is popular, it doesn't justify that sort of behavior. It's just weird. It's just weird. You take that moment out, you take the kiss out, and the movie's better. Like, it doesn't justify Kylo Ren being a huge piece of shit, just negging her through the entirety of The Last Jedi, and Rey saying, actually, no, fuck you, you are a piece of shit. I'm shutting the door. And for her to be this whole movie just being like, well, actually, I don't know. It's just, again, it's just
swolo. He did show up without his shirt.
Yeah.
He was swole.
That's what won her over, I'm sure. It's just a weird fucking moment, and they've done nothing like sense to be like, this makes sense. And, look, there's a lot of Reylo shippers out there, and I'm sure Twitter was having a field day. I question a lot of the sanity of some of those people on Twitter. I do. I've seen some shit, is what I'll say. I liked Kerry Russell's character, Zori Bliss, kind of a fun addition, kind of a nothing character, but, a little bit of a connection for Poe, a little bit more characterization for Poe I enjoyed. Cool design. I like the character's look. I liked Richard E. Grant's general character. What is it? Allegiant General Pride.
Yeah,
he was cool. He was a badass, good presence. Hux is a bumbling idiot yet again.
Yeah, which is
if
cool.
There's one thing I didn't love about what Rian Johnson did is that Hux kind of turned into a comic book character, like a cartoon character, not even a comic book character, and JJ just kind of doubled down. He was kind of a like crazed Nazi type character in The Force Awakens. Like he believed in the First Order. Like when he was given that speech about Starkiller, like
he was all about it.
That's the kind of shit you saw in Charlottesville, like to make a real life comparison. And then Episode 8, he's kind of a bumbling idiot, and here he's just like, I don't like Kylo Ren. Like I enjoyed the turn of him being the spy, and it feels kind of natural to what his character became in Episode 8, but it feels like it doesn't really reconcile with what Episode 7 did for his character. Minor complaint, but I'm sure I'm forgetting things here and there, but it is what it is. There's a lot in here, and we've been here a long time. Ian McDiarmid, Palpatine's inclusion, like it or hate it, I'm fine with it. I've dealt with it. He was excellent. Fucking owned it. The third act shit, fucking shooting the lightning storm into the sky. Sound design was so cool. Like, it was a cool fucking moment, and
cool.
Him being rejuvenated, getting some brand new robes as part of the magic force powers. It's cool shit, man.
Funny.
Got some sweet new red robes. All right. I got two things I want to... Well, three things, I guess, technically, but two things I'm going to ask you about. What'd you think about the Rey kind of... I don't know if consuming is the right word, but, the all of the Jedi live within Rey. What did you think about that kind of moment, execution?
Whole concept of all of you and me, and all of me and you. I've been grappling with that for a couple weeks now. I don't quite get it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like the Sith thing makes a little bit more sense because they've always had the rule of two, and it's always this whole thing about the apprentice striking down the master, and it kind of makes sense, like, if the master becomes kind of subsumed within the apprentice to become the master, like they're inherently, like, becoming more powerful in the dark side or something like that. I can kind of see that, and, like, that seems like a very dark side type trait of just being like, I want to become as powerful as I can. I don't care who gets in my way. Mm-hmm. Like, that kind of works, I think. Like, right? Does that seem kind of track
for the Sith for sure?
Right, but for the Jedi, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I guess it's just because as of this movie, are there any living Jedi theoretically? Right? No, right?
And I kind of have a problem with it, kind of like in the same sense that you have a problem with it with the lineage thing, right? With the bloodline thing. Like, to say that the Force gets stronger with the Sith because there's less Sith, and their Force gets stronger because there's less Jedi, is to say that the Force isn't with anybody else.
Which is counterintuitive to what we saw in The Last Jedi of the Force awakening and others.
Right, exactly. There's
Broom Boy just summoning his broom, a few inches. That's the Force.
Right.
This movie itself, the whole thing with Finn, of, Rey, I got to tell you something, which apparently was not, hey, I still want to fuck you. It was that, hey, I think I'm Force sensitive. Right. Like, that's what JJ said it was. Of course, he could have just fucking paid that whole plot point off in this movie if you're going to bring it up multiple times. Of, hey, what are you going to do? It's kind of
weird. Right?
I don't know.
So I think I don't really appreciate that.
I guess Ben Solo's technically a light side user by the end. I don't know if he's a Jedi per se.
So
but
what happens when he's a light side user? Does it diminish Rey's fucking power? I mean, or maybe it's just the teaching. Maybe it's the people that give themselves to the Force. Maybe then they can offer that kind of input to people.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, who are we to say? I don't know. I just thought it was kind of strange. Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. I just think it's strange. I don't quite understand.
I don't know. For me, it's like, okay, I don't really understand logistics. Like, I kind of like the scene of it, of just being like, look at all these fucking characters that happen to be in the other Skywalker things, and they're bringing in.
I like the idea of
shit from Rebels, and stuff like
Force Ghosts. I think Force Ghost is fine. I give myself to the Force, and then I can live within the Force as a part of it. And I think that's totally fine. And maybe that's what they mean by I'm living we're all with you. Maybe it's because they all gave themselves to the Force. When they died, they became a part of it. And they can all communicate to her. Maybe that's
it's like cyclical of they're one with the Force, and so Rey is one with the Force as well. So inherently, they're part of her.
Yeah, well, right. They can
communicate.
Right. It's not necessarily like you have our power.
Right.
Maybe that's
our
what
power
it
has
is.
not been transferred into you.
Although
that makes more sense.
Yeah. So I mean, I appreciate that a little bit more. I think that's probably more in line with what they were trying to do. I think more so than like I said, the power thing. But I don't know, because Palpatine was shooting ships out of the fucking sky. I mean, they're just spewing lightning. Yeah, and never seen anything like that before.
Turns out the secret to defeating Palpatine, take note, Mace Windu, 2 lightsabers, not 1, just 2. 2 is fine. 2 will be sufficient.
Mace Windu could have fucked him up from the beginning.
Mace Windu should have fucked him up. He would have prevented a lot of shit from happening, you dummy. Just because you don't get to fucking say things to Rey. You fucked your chance. What are you doing here, Sam Jackson? Get out of here. It's fine. It's fine. We like Mace Windu, even though he's kind of I don't know. He's fine.
What was the other thing you were going to bring up to me?
I thought of another thing as I was about to get into that. Mark Hamill, not his finest work here, I wouldn't say. The wig, horrendous.
Mark Hamill's wig?
Luke Skywalker, his wig here. I think he phoned in his performance a little bit here, which is a shame because he's excellent in The Last Jedi. I think he's kind of talked about how once Carrie died, Star Wars kind of was over for him, and I totally sympathize with that. Like that's
really sad.
Yeah, he's never made a Star Wars movie without her, and to try to go back to that, even I'm sure he was on set for a day or two at most, but like I kind of get that, but I also kind of just felt like I liked Luke's scene within it as like a completion of like, yeah, I was a dumbass in The Last Jedi. I realized my mistakes. Thanks to you. Don't do the same shit that I did. Here's a lightsaber back. Go fuck things up. I liked the scene. I kind of just felt like it wasn't well executed, I guess, or at least as well as it could have been. Also, this is maybe a weird quibble, but the Force Ghost effect in this was bad. It's a weird thing. But like it looked fine in The Last Jedi, and then they fucked it for this one. I'm like, just do the same thing. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like I don't know how you fuck that up, but the other thing I was going to ask you about, now that I got that out of my system, is the very ending. Rey takes a visit to a certain moisture farm on Tatooine, ignites a new lightsaber, talks to some random passerby, and reveals
her new
name. Yeah, her new last name. What'd you think about that?
Thought it was pretty cool. I'm all right with
it.
I
like it. Yeah. I like it. I've seen memes about it. That's one of the few things in this, and I'm like, oh no, I like this ending.
I like that ending. I think it's totally cool. I like
lightsaber's cool. We got a fucking yellow lightsaber, man. It's cool.
So I talked about it with you about the yellow lightsaber. The yellow lightsaber is a pretty big fucking deal. The only people for our listeners, as far as like Star Wars lore goes, is the only people that wield the yellow lightsaber are the people that are I think the like Jedi Temple guards or the Sentinels.
Yeah.
Jedi Sentinels, I think, wield a yellow lightsaber, and they're like they're not I don't know how to describe it. Like they're people that don't have a persona. They are the way of the Force. They're the way of the Jedi. You know what I mean? They're peopleless people. Does that make sense? They're selfless.
Selfless. Yeah, was what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's really interesting for moving forward.
Devoted to an ideal.
Exactly. Devoted to an ideal. They're devoted to the Jedi. They are the Jedi. They are the I don't know.
Like monks, I guess, in a way.
Exactly.
Like, but even more,
Boom.
even more than like the Jedi are kind of monks in their own sort of way too.
Right, but these people represent
Like the most legit of the legit.
Right. When you in like the Jedi Temple guards and stuff, they wear masks. They wear these. They all have the same masks. They all have the same robes. They blend into the walls of the Jedi Temple. You know what I mean? And they just represent the ideals of the Jedi, which is really fucking cool for somebody who's moving forward, presumably to continue the ways of the Jedi, if that's what she does. Which is another thing too, because I mean, Luke was he was so jaded about the Jedi, and you know, just he kind of almost started to go into that quote unquote gray area, you know, to where it's not just for the Jedi and it's not just for the Sith or anything else. It's a much more natural, passive thing. So it's interesting. I mean, we don't know what direction she's going to take everybody in, but if she takes it into that neutral place, it's interesting. But if she tries to reinvent the Jedi, that's a really cool lightsaber for her to have. I've read online that lightsaber color is a combination of both Luke and Leia's. She took
the crystals.
She took the crystals out of their saber and made her own saber out of the two crystals, and that's why to turn hers on, she has a dial. She dials it in, which is kind of interesting. I thought that was it's an interesting take. Definitely think she's got a cool lightsaber.
Yeah, well, you can see the hilt is
from her.
It's at least partially constructed from her staff. You know, we saw from the Force Awakens. It's cool. It's a cool thing. I like the scene. You know,
I would have
memes
really
and all,
liked her to have a lightsaber battle at the end of the movie with her own fucking lightsaber. I think that would have been fucking cool.
And you know, and that's just it. It's just kind of like
there could have been so much more missed opportunities.
You brought back the lightsaber first of all without any explanation for it coming back together. It's fine. Then you bring in Leia's lightsaber, which is the first time we've ever seen such a thing, and that's cool. She does use that technically for a bit. But I kind of felt like, you know, and I guess maybe this is a minor grievance, but like the third act is devoid of any sort of lightsaber confrontation, and that's fine. You know, in theory, it could be fine, but there's no real interesting like third act kind of thing. Like even her confrontation with Palpatine, like physically, lasts about 20 seconds. You know what I mean? Yeah. One lightsaber is enough to tide it back, and then two lightsabers is enough to reflect it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And like that's kind of it. And I think there's a version to kind of tie back to what we're saying is if Kylo has, become, taken all the strength of the Sith, then he's a fucking force to be reckoned with a lightsaber. And if Rey has constructed her own lightsaber out of necessity because, the fucking lightsaber got split in half, there's a third act there, again, I don't need to endlessly speculate about things that this could have been, but let's just kind of just like, I don't need a fucking 12-minute lightsaber duel the way that Revenge of the Sith ended. Like, it was too long, but I just think there's a way to make it more personal because Palpatine just is an asshole for this entire movie, so we don't, we know who Palpatine is, but Rey doesn't fucking know who Palpatine is. No. Ren doesn't know who the fuck Palpatine is. Like, they do and they don't. But they didn't live through the Empire. The only people that know who Palpatine are the people that lived with the Empire, controlling the fucking galaxy. Like, it's important for them to vanquish them, and that's why the fucking original trilogy was about it. And they did it. They took the Empire. They took down the Empire. They took down the Emperor. That was the conclusion of that. Like, we didn't need more Palpatine. It's fine they wanted to bring him back. I know, it's fine. I can reconcile that. But, the characters don't have connections to that. The characters have connections to each other. You could have said they had connections to Snoke. Snoke's gone. Fine. What are you going to do? Build on what happened. Build on what existed. But anyway, I digress. I do like the ending. I like the idea of Rey taking the name Skywalker. I think it also could have been just powerful if she just continues to be just Rey.
Who are you?
I think that
I'm Rey. That's not
Rey. Who? Just Rey. I don't need a fucking last name. You know, it would have been fine. Would have been fine. It's fine for her to kind of take over that mantle. I know a lot of people, maybe myself included, wanted the Rise of the Skywalker to be in reference to a new Jedi Order of the Jedi are dead. The Jedi will not be ever again. The Jedi had their place in, their time and place. Now they're done. And its place becomes the Skywalker Order. A way to honor the legacy of the Jedi, to honor the legacy of the Skywalker family.
The way of Skywalker.
And carry the torch forward without them literally being Jedi because Rey is different. The Jedi failed. And it's true, the Jedi failed because they were kind of a bunch of fuck-ups. Like, that's how Palpatine came to like, again, another thing that The Last Jedi talks about is, the Jedi fucking failed. Like, we don't need to bring back the Jedi and do exactly everything the way that we did before because it clearly didn't fucking work. Why the fuck would we do that? That's dumb. Like, that's Luke's whole point is just being like my mistake was just trying to replicate the past, and you have to learn from the past to create the future. And I again, there's a way to craft this ending that takes that lesson from The Last Jedi and incorporates it into Rey. Like, she spent a whole fucking movie listening to Luke, and even if he was a shithead for The Last Jedi, by the end he came around, but I still think his teachings are valid. I think there's a way to incorporate those to make them, to incorporate them within Rey's character so that she absorbs those lessons and incorporates them to bring the galaxy to a future state that's a lot more optimistic. Because when it comes down to it, and again, this is absolutely a flaw of The Force Awakens. The Empire was vanquished, and in comes in the First Order, which is just the Empire again. And the Rebel Alliance is just the Resistance. It's lazy storytelling when it boils down to it, but it is what it is. You take it what it is. History repeats itself, right? So how do you avoid history repeating itself? You do something different.
Yeah.
And I think that's what could have been done here. And it's not to say that it can't be done. Rey's teachings may be very different than what, teachings that Luke tried to pass down. Luke might have been trying to be too subservient to Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda and stuff and the old Jedi Order, and that was his fatal flaw. Or maybe Palpatine / Snoke just infiltrated and fucked Kylo Ren independent of that. We don't know, because we didn't see any of that shit in the fucking movies, but there's something there. There's something there. Could have been fleshed out. It wasn't. It is what it is. We got what we got. I think it's fine for Rey to take the Skywalker name. I like that. I like the ending on the Tatooine, the binary sunset.
It was cool.
BB-8's just there chilling for some reason. It's fine, because they just wanted the twin sons to look like BB-8 for a second. It's fine. But that is Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, is it not?
That's the Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. We need to wrap this shit up.
All right.
3 hours.
We've been here a long time.
Jesus Christ.
Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. We're going to rank it in order. Reverse order. We're going to do 9 through 1. Why don't we alternate our rankings? You have one prepared, do you not?
Yeah, no, I do have
one. Are you ready for this? You ready to talk about your least favorite film in the Star Wars Skywalker Saga?
Well, I know what it is without logging into my laptop and looking. I can tell you. Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
All right.
It's my least favorite Star Wars movie.
I also feel that Attack of the Clones is the worst Star Wars film of the Skywalker Saga, of also all the Star Wars films, including Rogue One and Solo. We will not be including those in the rankings, but it's the worst.
It is the
for
worst.
Sure.
Yes.
All right, so we got number 9 out of the way. We agree so far. What do you have for number 8? Do you have it up now?
Number 1.
Number 8. We're going up. We're going in reverse order.
What are we doing?
Well, we just did the worst. Now we're doing the second worst. So
which would be number 1? Phantom Menace.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see. Okay. I thought you were just jumping to like, no, this is my favorite. I see. Number 1, episode 1 is what you're saying.
Episode 1, The Phantom Menace is the
all right.
second worst Star Wars movie.
We are 2 for 2 in terms of agreeing with each other. What's your number 7?
Number 7 would be Episode 3.
Revenge of the Sith?
Revenge of the Sith.
All right, we agree. 3 for 3 thus far. Or so far, our franchise rankings are very similar. All right, so the prequel trilogy is, again, I talked about it. I think all of the prequels are worse than this film.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So what's number 6 for you?
Number 6 would be Episode... it gets tough.
It gets tough? Yeah, well, the prequels are easy, right? You did it right. I mean, you gotta stick to your gut,
I have Episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
You have Return of the Jedi as your sixth favorite Star Wars film in the Skywalker Saga.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Rise of Skywalker here.
Okay.
I think this is. I can't in good faith put this above anything in the original trilogy. I just can't. It's easily the worst of the sequel trilogy. That goes without saying for me personally.
I think it's
better than any of the prequels.
I think they're pretty close.
I think they're close, and honestly, they're honestly close in terms of execution in some ways. Of wow, you didn't quite stick the landing as much as I hoped you would. But I think Return of the Jedi is a better closer for its own trilogy. I think in spite of the grievances that I aired on the last episode that we did on the Skywalker Saga, I think the Rise of Skywalker is just too much for its own good. It works fine in and of itself, but when you're stacking it up against the rest, I think it lacks. It lacks overall, and I think that Return of the Jedi's worst parts are its early parts, but by the end, it's good. You know, Ewoks aside, maybe. Ewoks are fine. I don't mind the fucking Ewoks. We did get some Ewoks in this movie for some fucking reason. I still think Return of the Jedi throne room stuff is excellent. Rise of Skywalker doesn't hit those highs for me.
That's literally it for episode 6. It's throne room shit. That's it.
Yeah,
it's all that movie has going for it is Emperor Palpatine.
But it's enough for me, I will say, to at least bump it up above the Rise of Skywalker. So I have Skywalker at number 6. I think we're going to alternate here. It sounds like you have the Rise of Skywalker at number 5, I'm guessing.
That's right. Yep.
All right. I have Return of the Jedi.
Right. Okay.
I have Return of the Jedi at number 5. Yeah. So I agree with you. Again, I think I just the original trilogy for me is too near and dear to my heart to like say that it's worse than this movie. Maybe time will make a difference. Maybe, but I'd be surprised. So we're close there, though. So we got our 5s out of the way.
Right.
Now, we'll see if we match up. What do you have for number 4?
Episode 8.
The Last Jedi?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have The Force Awakens at number 4.
Here, I think, too.
Probably 4 and 3. And I think 2 and 1 will probably line up if I had to guess. But
so I picked, seeing that we're probably alternating, this one's episode 8 and the next one's episode 7. Is that fair for you? Alternate?
Yes, I have The Force Awakens at number 4, Last Jedi at number 3.
So I picked those two simply because there's a lot more emotional moments, I think, in episode 7. I don't know if that's it's not necessarily nostalgic because, I mean, it didn't come out.
No, it came out 5 years ago.
I think, but it's I don't know. I just feel like it's a more emotional movie. I feel like it's a slower, I think it's a better paced movie. I think it just seems, I don't know, it seems to stew in itself a lot more. Does that make sense?
I agree. I actually do agree for the most part in the sense that I get more emotional watching The Force Awakens than I get watching The Last Jedi. I think its characterization is on point, 100%. You know, as an introduction to some of these characters, it's so good, and it's comfort food in its own sort of way.
It is.
In the sense that you're not getting anything really wholly original, but it's done so fucking well. You know? It's done so well that you don't hold that against it, really.
No.
I value The Last Jedi more in and of itself, I think, because it hits. I think even if it doesn't hit those emotional moments for me, I think the avenues that it takes the characters are interesting, and I think because almost by the virtue of it doing new things,
right,
sometimes less successful. You know, the Canto Bight stuff is worse than anything in The Force Awakens, without a doubt. It has lower lows, but I do think it has some higher highs, and there's a lot of stuff in The Last Jedi that I just absolutely adore, and I think that I love Rian Johnson's vision of Star Wars.
It's cool. It is.
I like JJ's vision of Star Wars, at least circa episode 7, you know, but it's too samey for me to like.
I understand.
They're close though. Like they're neck and neck. Like, you know what I mean?
Kind of like a 6 and 9 kind of situation a little bit, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Those two, and even 1, 2. Maybe when we'll get into it, we'll see if we disagree or
I think we'll probably I don't know. We'll
even if we agree or disagree, I honestly think like 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6 are so close to each other. You can flip-flop them, no big deal. Honestly, 7 through 9, all relatively close to each other. You can flip-flop them. I wouldn't bat an eye, you know?
Right. Right.
So, yeah. Do you have any other thoughts on 3, 4? I know I kind of
we're good.
Stepping on your feet a little bit. All right,
Next
so
one.
number 2. What do you have for number 2? We'll just...
Next one I have for number 2 is A New Hope. Number 4, episode 4, Star Wars.
Which means that number 1 is The Empire Strikes Back.
That's correct.
For you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, as it turns out, it's also for me.
Is that right?
We have this. We have the same 1 and 2. Yeah, I mean,
think Empire Strikes Back is without a doubt. Don't get me wrong. A New Hope is fucking fantastic. It's a really good movie.
So good. And, you know, we talked about 8 out of 9. Well, we've now talked about 9 out of 9 films, but we talked about 8 out of these 9 films very recently at length. So you've kind of heard a little bit of our thoughts on like how we fucking adore them so much, but we deliberately avoided doing rankings in that episode because we were going to wait till we had all of them. But yeah. And also the Empire Strikes Back is in our personal top 5 favorite films of all time.
Yeah. I mean, it's
like, that's kind of cheating. You know what I mean?
Top tier fucking movie there. I mean,
so good. But A New Hope, I mean, I think
not to diminish A New Hope. A New Hope is...
They're now, that's what I'm saying. 1 and 2, also neck and neck. Like, again, if you told me that, you know, Star Wars A New Hope is your favorite fucking film, like in the franchise, or even of all time, that's a good fucking call.
Good call.
It really is. Mm-hmm. You told me Attack of the Clones is your favorite. I'm not your friend.
Questions. Yeah.
But, you know, I think there's a validity to, you know, I'm not going to tell people how to live their lives and shit, but like, I think just kind of, you know, taking a step back, you know, like, I think that, you know, this, and really, even I think 1 through 4, like, even if you said The Force Awakens is your favorite Star Wars film, like, I wouldn't hate it. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't.
With a lot of people, that might be the case.
And especially, like, depending on how old you are, that totally makes fucking sense.
Totally.
Like, it takes the story that worked so fucking well before, adds a new spin on it, and it does it really well. Like, yeah. Why wouldn't it? Why couldn't it be your favorite film? Like, we grew up on the original trilogy. That shit's near and dear to our hearts. And so to see a new spin on that, I think is kind of fun for us in other ways, but it doesn't top it for us. But if that's your introduction to Star Wars, well, fuck.
I don't blame you. That's cool. You're in. Yeah. So what do you got here? What if that's Star Wars, dude? Star Wars is fucking done until we talk about the Mando.
So we talk about the Mando. That's right. What have I been up to lately? Is that the question?
Yeah, let's see what you've been up to, dude. What have you been up to?
Well, Christmas came and went.
Yes, it did.
I was down in Florida for some time, hanging out with you for part of that time, hanging out with my family for part of that time. Had a nice Christmas with the whole family together. Saw my little nephew Graham for a little while there. Little G-man.
He's not so nice. Little anymore, though, is he? I bet he's getting big now.
He's a big lad. Yeah, it was nice. You know, I saw everyone. It was nice and warm down in Florida. You know, it gets cold up in the north, so it's nice to have a little respite from that. When I got back, I went to a very lovely wedding for a friend of mine, which I really enjoyed. And had a few too many drinks, maybe not too many, but enough. You know, enough to have a good time.
Yeah, right.
And then I had the fucking flu.
Oh, shit, dude.
I came down with the flu within like a day of that, and that fucked my life up for a few days. So that was unfortunate.
Doing better now, though.
Doing better now. A little bit of a cough still lingering, but no big deal. Went up to upstate New York with my girlfriend, Anna. Stayed at her parents' house for a few days. It was a lot of fun. Never been up that way. Got to see some of... where she grew up, you know, the home, literally, school, and, you know, just neighborhood and stuff like that. It was, you know, interesting. It's kind of fun to see that. And I was still somewhat in recovery mode, so it was pretty low key. A lot of time just spent hanging around, playing the Switch, reading on the Kindle and stuff like that, which I'll get into in just a little while. But it was nice. Back in school now. Semester just started up this past week. Week 2 will start as of tomorrow, recording anyway. Good semester, hopefully, inbound. But I'm feeling kind of back in action, feeling kind of myself again, which is nice. What I did do over some of that time that I just described, I watched a lot of Christmas movies. Anna loves her Christmas movies, and
I love Christmas
there's a few
movies too.
that I had not seen that I watched. Some that were classics for her that she watches like every year, and some not so much. First one was White Christmas. Have you ever seen White Christmas?
I've never seen White Christmas.
It's good.
I don't think I have. Let me look it up real quick.
I guess it's technically a musical. It's really good. I'll look up the year real quick. Let's see, 1954.
That's an old one.
Yeah, a musical film.
Never
Bing
seen
Crosby, Danny Kaye, Rosemary Clooney, and Vera Ellen. Really good. I enjoyed it. Never seen it, obviously. Ton of fun. Watched the black and white version. I guess there's a colorized version as well, but she's a purist, so none of that shit in her life. I respect it, though.
I do respect it. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I had never seen it, but it was really a lot of fun. I watched the Grinch, the new Grinch, the
animated
Grinch, the animated Grinch. Yeah,
Okay.
the 3D animated one.
What'd you think?
I didn't like it. What I will say,
right.
you have or have not seen this one.
I have not. No,
I think it's on Netflix. I think maybe it's still on there. I don't know if they pulled it like with the new year and stuff, but like that. But like I like the Jim Carrey one. I know you do too. We talked about it recently. Like the Who's are designed like pretty. They're just normal people in that one with like weird noses and weird hairstyles, right?
Right. Yeah.
They're fucked in this one. Like the designs are fucked, and it like it's disturbing. Like how like fucked looking they are. Like I couldn't watch parts of this movie. It was Cats-esque, not that bad, but like kind of along the same lines of like, oh my god, my head hurts looking at this shit. And it just wasn't. It didn't add anything to it for me. Like it changed things, I guess, but like not in a good way, I guess. I don't know. Even like the fucking reindeer had like a weird hair part, and I'm like, what is this? What is the designs? What are the designs of this movie?
What did Anna think about this movie?
Shit, I don't think she loved it either. So
okay, that's good. Okay,
this is the one that was not in regular repetition for her. This is the first time she had seen it as well. I don't think it will be added to the list. We'll stick with the Jim Carrey one. Thank you very much. We also watched It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah,
which I've never seen this movie.
You've never seen that?
I've never seen it.
I've seen that multiple times.
That
used to be Kelly's favorite Christmas movie.
Okay, well, that kind of diminishes what I'm about to say a little bit, but
it's really good though.
It's a fucking incredible movie.
Yeah.
Wow, this is easily my favorite of the three. Great film. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Stewart was fucking excellent. I didn't know anything about the movie. I guess just a blind spot for me, but man, it was so good. That is so well acted, and just it's I don't you don't see movies like this anymore. Like it's just kind of deliberate in its pacing. Like it spends an hour just kind of endearing you to this character and his family, and then it kind of pulls out the rug from you of just being like, well, here's fucking life without you, kind of for a little bit of the movie, and it kind of all comes together the way that it does. It's really incredible.
It is good.
I know it's like I've heard about this movie, and like it's really obviously very loved, considered I think kind of one of the greatest films of all time, typically from what I've seen. But I just never seen it, and well, I guess it earned its spot on that list, you would say. So
that's a good one.
That was kind of my Christmas movie watching that happened. I also saw A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood with Tom Hanks.
Oh man, is it good?
Mr. Rogers.
Did you cry? It was good. Did you cry?
I didn't cry.
I bet I'd cry. I bet I would.
It's not what I expected. Good and bad ways. It's I guess I just expected kind of a more traditional biopic on Mr. Rogers, and it's not that. Like he's not the main character in it. Like
no,
it's a movie.
It's
a movie. It's about
author?
Like the writer of like the magazine who's writing about like heroes, and he kind of learns to like have personal growth through his interactions with Mr. Rogers, but like the interactions themselves are kind of just like that's not the main story of it necessarily. It's more about him and his family and how he kind of grows through seeing life kind of through the lens that Mr. Rogers imparts upon him. It was really good, But again, it was just not what I expected. But I think that, the documentary, which I still haven't seen, on Mr. Rogers, what was that one called? Well, anyway, I haven't seen that. I don't know if it's streaming or anything like that, but I feel like that would probably be closer to what I expected from this. So I feel like I might be more like emotional in response to that in its own sort of way, maybe. Won't You Be My Neighbor? That's it, wasn't it? Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Okay, I think so.
I think I would have that emotional response more to that as like just like the story of Mr. Rogers himself. This one was really good though. I think if I watched it again, I almost would enjoy it more because I would know what to expect with it.
I got you.
Outside of that, Mandalorian has come and gone. We've seen it. We'll talk about it at some point in the future. The Witcher, I'm almost done with. It's come and gone. We'll maybe talk about that very soon too. I finished The Boys season 1 last night, in fact.
Is it incredible?
Oh, yeah. It's fucking awesome. You have not watched any of it, right?
None of it.
You'd love it. I know I've said that as much before, but it's
right up my alley.
It's right up your alley, dude. I think you'd love it.
Okay.
It's a great send-up of the superhero genre, but it's really just fucking well acted. It's gory and gross in all the right ways. Carl Urban's fucking excellent.
Well, I'll finish up The Expanse, and then I'll...
Characters are so good in it, and like even like the piece of shit characters in it have enough depth to them to make them interesting to watch, not just from a villainous perspective, but just being like a, I don't know, there's a lot of fucked up shit that happens in it, but it's all really interesting storytelling. It's all really good. I didn't know anything about it other than, seeing the trailer and stuff like that. I know it's based on a comic, but very impressed.
All right.
Watch The Boys. I know my dad recommended it however long ago, and I know he talked about it, but definitely very highly recommended on The Boys on Amazon. Season 2, I think, is supposed to debut later this year too. So
good deal.
Good time. If you watch, you watch it now, you probably don't have to wait more than a couple months for the next season to come out, which is great. I did watch Crisis on Earth X, the crossover as of 2 years ago on the CW for the Arrowverse. It's one where the Nazis come and break up Barry and Iris's wedding. I started it on the plane down to Florida, and I finished it once I got back. Which means it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I like the crossovers. They usually put a little bit more money into them, and it's nice seeing all the characters interact. So I enjoyed it. What it means, though, I think, is that I'm now kind of like finally at the point where I left off in the Arrowverse. Like I spent fucking months now just rewatching shit I'd already seen, and I think I'm finally at the point where I'm like, oh, new material now. We'll see how that goes. Haven't watched any of it yet, but maybe I will. We'll find out. Started Pokemon Sword. Fucking love it. Pokemon is excellent. Good shit. Looks good. It's nice to have, in a way, Pokemon on a console. Like a proper Pokemon game on a console. Kind of unheard of at this point.
Like a proper modern fucking Pokemon?
Yeah, like it's cool. It's fully 3D and you're not walking in like diagonals and shit. Like it's cool. Sun and Moon was kind of that, but this is kind of the next level shit. I know people have bitched about it for this and that. I don't really know what the complaints are. I think other than the fact that you can't technically catch every Pokemon in the game, like there's 9,000 Pokemon and they only have like 200, 300 available in the game or whatever, and they're adding more in DLC now or some shit, but whatever. It's fine. I really enjoy it. Put it like fucking 20 hours into it in the span of like a week, so nice. I guess I liked it. 3 badges. I got 3 badges. Don't even worry about it. I'm going to be the best, the very best that no one ever was. Last but not least, I started reading in the spirit of Star Wars. I started reading Star Wars Aftermath by Chuck Wendig, which is the first of 3 in the Aftermath trilogy, which kind of picks up kind of on the heels of Return of the Jedi. The Empire is kind of in tatters after Palpatine's death, but they're still trying to scrounge together some support, whereas the Rebel Alliance is trying to put together the new Republic, and they don't really quite have it all figured out just yet. So it's kind of interesting. Writing style is weird. It's all in the present tense, which is odd. I've gotten used to it. I'm about halfway through the book right now, and it's pretty impressive for me because I don't read very well outside of law school. Enjoying it. Really enjoying it. I kind of wanted to get more into the Star Wars canon after The Rise of Skywalker, in spite of my grievances. Again, kind of really felt like I'm in the Star Wars mood, like I'm feeling Star Wars and shit. So I'm enjoying it, and I'm going to continue reading it, and maybe move on to the next couple books in the trilogy.
There you go.
If I can. That is it for me. Sorry, that might have taken some time. What have you been up to?
So I went dirt bike riding in Blue Ridge, Georgia. That was cool. We had these enduros, and I got I got this like GPS Garmin, and tried to find some waterfalls and stuff. It was pretty cool. I hadn't ridden a dirt bike in a long time, and I definitely like exploring and doing that. That's a lot of fun. Let's see, what else do we have? The Mando. Finished the Mando. Finished The Witcher. Moving on to the Expanse.
Okay. All right.
And I've been playing the Star Wars video game.
Yeah, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Fallen Order, I think is what it's called. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It's a fucked up name, but whatever. I'm not finishing it, but I've been playing it, so it's cool.
Yeah.
It's a pretty badass game. I'm all about it, I think.
Yeah.
I think I might beat this
Going
game.
for it?
I haven't beat a game in like fucking 3 years, but I think I'm going to beat this one. Let's see, what else do I have? Started that. I'm on the last episode of that Netflix show called You. It's about that creeper dude.
What is it on?
It's on Netflix. But I think it was originally on A&E or something. I'm not sure, but Netflix has it. Or A&E produced it. Maybe it's like a Hulu situation, like that. Devs coming out. A&E produced it, but then they put it on Netflix. I'm not sure. But it's about a guy that meets a girl, and he's kind of like he's got some stalker. He's kind of like a stalker a little bit.
You?
She doesn't know about it.
So what it is?
It's called You.
Okay. Yeah.
You know about
I've
You?
seen it, but I know about it.
Okay. Yeah. So I've been watching that, and it's pretty good.
Yeah?
I like it.
Okay.
I do like it. Yeah, I do like it. I do like it quite a bit. I'm on the last episode.
The first or second season?
And
okay.
First season. I haven't started the second season yet. But first season's pretty good. Second season's out now. Don't know how that is. I know it's based off a novel. Didn't read the novel. I am 2 hours away from finishing The Shining on audiobook.
Nice.
And I will tell you that the Shining's a pretty fucking good book.
I bet.
I do like The Shining. I think I might just keep riding the fucking Stephen King wave because it's The Shining's pretty fucking good. I do like The Shining. Curious to see about the second book and where it goes, because there's a lot of stuff, like 98% of the novel is not in the movie. Like, I mean, it's just the movie, which I think the movie is pretty fucking incredible, but the movie is pretty fucking like surface level as far as everything goes.
For sure.
So, I'd be very interested to see Doctor Sleep and see how it kind of like expands on it, because I know just from the trailers, Doctor Sleep, or I think it's called Doctor Sleep. Doctor Sleep, it did not look like it looked very much more in tune with the novel. So, kind of curious to see the movie and listen to the sequel. So we'll see what happens with that. But I have almost finished that book. That book's going to be done probably by the next time we record. So, what else do I got? I watched The Grinch. I watched the Jim Carrey Grinch, not the animated
I think you
Grinch.
talked about it. I don't know if it was the last episode, but probably maybe the Frozen episode or something. I don't know.
Maybe. I did watch Chevy Chase Christmas Vacation.
Okay. All right.
Which is fucking great. I think it's National Lampoon.
Yeah, Christmas Vacation.
I'm not
something
quite
like that.
sure of the title.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty fucking great. I hadn't seen that in years. It's pretty awesome. What else did I watch? I think that's about it. Watched Jumanji on vacation. I didn't not the new one, the first one. I still haven't seen the second one. But the first one's pretty great. I think we watched something else too. I can't quite remember what it was. Can't remember what I watched on vacation. It's been too long.
That has been a little while. Yeah.
But yeah, dude. I've finished The Witcher. I've finished The Mando. Got to do an episode on them. I will start The Boys after I finish The Expanse. I do want to finish The Expanse. I turned Sarah's dad onto The Expanse, and I said, listen, That's what I said. I said, listen, 3 or 4 episodes in, you're probably not going to be into it. It's going to take it's going to take at least 3 or 4 episodes for you to really, really get engaged. Give it 4 episodes. Watch the 5th episode or the 6th episode. You'll be hooked and you'll grind it out. I got back from vacation and had watched all of it. He was all about it. 100% about it. So that was kind of cool. I had a high recommendation to watch Krypton. I have not watched Krypton yet, but I heard it. I heard it's pretty great, especially if you're like a Superman fan. So I don't know, might take a dive, and I think it's going to be a little bit more cumbersome to watch because I don't think it's available on any like sort of streaming things. I think I'll have to kind of finagle a way to watch it, but yeah. So I turned Sarah's dad on to Expanse, and he's further than I am. He's like, oh, you just gotta watch it. You just gotta watch it. He's so pumped about it. He watched.
How far did you say you were?
I'm like
season
2
4?
episodes in. I think I watched that when you were sleeping over here. Is the last episode I watched.
Yeah, okay. So you still got basically the entire season to watch.
Yeah, it's like I'm like 2 or 3 episodes in, I think.
I gotcha.
So I got a lot to watch. But anyways, that's what I've been up to. Let's wrap this thing up, dude. I got to go to bed.
Well, we've been here long enough, haven't we? Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please spread the word. Website, watchreviewrepeat.com. You can follow us on Twitter at WRRPod. You can like us on Facebook by searching for Watch Review Repeat. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, hot takes on Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, and such, please send those our way, watchreviewrepeat@gmail.com. We'd be happy to discuss that on air. Any other things you want to talk about, movies, TV shows you've been watching, recommendations, etc. Intro and outro track is Mechanolith by Kevin MacLeod, licensed under the Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. Our next episode is to be determined. We want to talk about The Mandalorian. We want to talk about The Witcher. We're going to see 1917 pretty soon from the sounds of things. Probably one or some combination of those would be my guess in the near future. I've said it multiple times, but I think it might be true this time, is that I think we'll probably get close to a regular recording and release schedule pretty soon. Things are a little less topsy-turvy. Vacation is over, unfortunately. School is back for me. Work is back for Andrew. It's kind of back to the same old, but should be good for us kind of getting back to order, I guess you could say. We are also, as we mentioned earlier, going to look back at 2019, a look ahead to 2020. Maybe probably later in the month we'll probably end up doing that, just because we have a lot of stuff that we want to get to before we get to that. But point still stands. Lots of good stuff coming in the future for you guys. Just keep an eye out on the website. Maybe we'll have conversations and post up to the website what we're going to be doing. But just keep your ears to the ground. We'll have some good stuff coming for you before long. So don't you worry. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Fucking Star Wars, man. Just makes us want to talk for hours upon hours upon hours. But now we're done. Andrew, take us out.
Ladies up. Oh, shit. Ladies, take care now. Bye-bye then.
Take care now on the Laters on the Menjay.